Okay. Going down for the four sides, do you have all of them checked? For opposite sides parallel, do you have all of them checked? Opposite sides congruent, all of them. Who has all sides congruent? Square, rhombus. Square and rhombus only. You got it. Who has opposite angles congruent? All four. All four. And who has all angles in the corners the same? Rectangle and square. Beautiful. Now the 5 through 8 goes with the diagonals. So the diagonals bisect each other should be all four. Excellent. The diagonals are congruent only to square, yes, and rectangle. Rectangle and square. It's a characteristic under rectangle. Who has the diagonals come and bisect the opposite angles? Rhombus does, so a square does. And then who has diagonals that are perpendicular? Who? Rhombus and a square. Absolutely. You want me to do any repeats? Okay, number 9, all quadrilaterals are parallelograms. False. All parallelograms are quadrilaterals. True. A square is a parallelogram. True. A parallelogram with a right angle is a square. It is a rectangle. False, false, false. Number 13. All rectangles, what does it say? All rectangles are parallelograms. True. All rhombuses are squares. False. Excellent. All squares are rectangles. True. A parallelogram with 4 congruent sides is a square. False, because you have to be a rhombus. In order to be, see, this square thinks he's such hot stuff.
Yeah.
A square has to have 4 congruent sides and 4 right angles.
Oh.
Yeah. And a parallelogram, 17, a parallelogram with perpendicular diagonals, who has them? Right, so he says in this question it is a square, and it's false because at first he has to be a rhombus. Want any repeats of those? Okay. Number 1 for 18 through 21. Angle 1 is 24 degrees. 2 is 48. 3 and 4 are both 66. 5 is 24. 6 is 66. 7 is 132. 8 is 54. 9 is 36. 10 is 90. 11 is 54. And 12 is 45. Flipper? Oh, I totally forget. It's twice now. 13 is 90, 14 is 45. You feel bad for those two, don't you? Yeah, sort of to the side. 21. Angle 1 is 32. What's 2? 3, 58. 4 is 58, right? 5 is 32. 6 is, and 7 is 32. I think on 22, I owe you 2 tick marks. So if you would kindly go put those in. Sam, I think I got them for you, didn't I?
Yeah.
Yeah. And so you had to identify, and so I would just write rhombus anywhere near number 22 that you can. One thing that we do know that Z would be 17 because in a rhombus all 4 sides are congruent. Is that good? Okay, now this is the hard part. Tell me about the diagonals in a rhombus. So get that pink sheet or go get it. I don't care if you need to go get it. Tell me anything you know about the diagonals of a rhombus. Yeah, that's really good. You can draw one right angle or four right angles. One more biggie. Monica, okay. Yeah, so they come and they cut this angle and this angle and that angle and that angle, but that does not help me find X and Y. I'm looking for the characteristics of the diagonal individually pieced. What do you think about that? What kind of markings should you have on the diagonals? I hope you have it on your pink sheet.
These are congruent, and then
Excellent. Your hands gave it away. It was awesome. So once we find X, do you agree it's also Y?
yes.
All right, so in order to find X, I outlined this right triangle and brought him down. Where this is an X, this is an 8, and this is a 17. And by the rhombus, do you have a hint that I gave you as a Hoying characteristic? Hopefully? What theorem goes with every right triangle?
Leg squared plus leg squared equals the height.
Yeah, so that's fabulous. Leg squared plus leg squared equals the hypotenuse squared. So looking at the X, the 8, and the 17, who are the legs and who's the hypotenuse?
Hypotenuse is 17.
Yeah. And then these guys just sort of fill in any order, right? So if you do X squared plus 64, everybody, right? So X squared plus 64 equals 289. Then you subtract and you get X squared is 225. What do you do mathematically when you have X squared and you want X? You? Square rooter on both sides. And X is 15. So if X is 15, then everybody, Y is 15. That was really good. I'm impressed. Okay, 23, bless you. Anybody have a name that they think they might want to give him? I totally agree. A rectangle. What kind of markings do you see? I've got 4 right angles, agree? 4 right angles. I have opposite sides congruent because of Y. If it's not a characteristic under rectangle, who is it? Who's it a characteristic of? Parallelogram, because remember, the rectangle's grandma is the parallelogram, so you have all of her characteristics as well. So you have opposite sides congruent. So, I have one more special marking that I made it a Hoying characteristic on the rectangle about the diagonals. All pieces are the same. So these markings are huge because once I find one, I have all the others. So look under rectangle, Sam. Do you have that?
Yeah.
Okay, good. So all 4 pieces. So again,
Okay, I see it.
you sure?
Yeah, I
'Cause you-
marked it, I marked, one tick mark, and then the other diagonal was 2 tick marks.
All for the same. So once we have X, we have Y again, right? So then I'm sort of stuck because we don't have Z to split. We don't have X and we don't have Y. But we have? Go for it. You can ask anything you want.
What is the little,
The bracket?
yeah, what's
I think it's asking Z is the whole length from D all the way to B.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah. I can't draw those. I think I can do one. It's not bad. I can do the left one, but I can't do the right one at all. Can you draw both?
I can't draw either.
You can't draw. No. I'm really kind of bad on brackets. Yeah. Can you draw both? Oh, she's drawing. You can draw both. You guys are artists. Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay, so look at this. You could take a color and outline this and tell me what I just outlined. What kind? A right triangle. Hey, and what theorem goes with every right triangle? Yeah, so set them up again. Yeah, so we've got to pull him out. Do you agree with me that I've got a 7 and then on the right and a 24 on the bottom?
Yes, ma'am.
So then Z would be that whole diagonal.
Oh.
Because Z is the whole bracket. So it'd be Z squared or 7 squared plus 24 squared equals Z squared. And I got Z to be 25. Good?
Yep.
Okay, now if that Z is 25, you have to split that evenly into 2 congruent parts. So this is going to be 12.5, this is going to be 12.5, and since all 4 pieces are the same, both X and Y will be 12.5. Anybody get that on their own? Does it make sense though?
Yes.
Okay, so when you're stuck, I always look for my Pythagorean theorem, I always look for right triangles. All right, keep going down. 24, I love your opinion. Nice SAT, ACT test question. MR is congruent to HR. MT and AT, they bisect each other. So what do you think? Yeah, what do you think?
I said,
You said E?
yeah.
All of them.
Because I had it, when I drew it out, I had a rectangle,
Uh-huh.
and then, I guess it is just, what could is it just D? Now I'm confused.
I know.
I have it drawn out as a rectangle.
Okay, so do you have it drawn out like this? What's in your upper left-hand corner? What letter? And then which way? Oh, I wrote A. What letter do you want A? Do I go right?
I went down.
Okay, so it doesn't really matter, does it? As long as you go clockwise or counterclockwise. Do you have your diagonals drawn in?
Yeah.
Okay. And MT and AH walk up and they bisect each other, which means that we haven't seen each other for so long. We're like, oh. So this one is cut in half, right? And this one is cut in half. Agree? Then it comes and says, not only do they bisect each other at point R, whatever, MR is the same as HR. So now, how many ticks are they all going to have? They're all going to have 2. So who has a picture like that? Reese, what do you think?
Yeah, so I know it's a rectangle.
So you know it's a rectangle. Is it enough to give me enough information to be a square, though? No. So I'm thinking he's just a rectangle, number 2. Yeah. Yeah. What do you think? Okay.
So, a rectangle is not a parallelogram?
Yes, he is, because look at.
So then wouldn't it be 1 and 2?
So you want to do 1 and 2? Okay, I give it to you in a heartbeat. I totally give you C. But I don't think he's A, just a parallelogram. Do you agree?
No.
Okay. Yep. I totally would agree with. And then Cindy made this awesome design, didn't she?
Yeah. Yes.
It's so cool. With what? With what? Wire? Is that what it says?
Yeah.
If this is 40, this is 40. If this is 9, this is 9, because it's at least saying to me it's a rectangle. So it's a parallelogram, so opposite sides are congruent, right?
Yeah.
So as she starts here, she's got 9, then she needs wire for 40, then she needs wire for 9, and then she needs wire for 40. So she's at 80 and 18, so she's at 98 already. Does that make sense? But we've got to have wire for the inside, 2 diagonals. So we've got all 4 pieces going around. So if this is a rectangle, I do have a right angle in the corners. Do you agree?
Yeah.
And so I did the exact same thing as I did in the last problem. I made a huge right triangle to find the length. Oh, I have to draw that bracket, don't I? There you go.
There you go.
To find that huge length. And by Pythagorean theorem, and I got 41, weirdly enough. So then, if I'm 41 for this diagonal, how long is the other diagonal? 41. So you got 41 and another 41 for a total of 180 inches of wire for that awesome project that she's working on. What do you think?
Yeah.
Yay or nay? Ready to just keep going? So this week to me is just going to be practice. We're going to practice today. We're going to practice tomorrow. We're going to practice Thursday, and Friday is your quiz on rectangle, rhombus, and square. Sound like a plan?
Yep.
Okay, so get your colors out, grab that worksheet, and let's post it up here. We're going to do part of it together, and just kind of a little bit of it for homework. I'm going for number 7 already. I'm skipping the top for right now. Anybody need one? Oh, you all got one. Good. Do you want me to take a picture of you?
Oh no, I'm good. But
You
if I
sure?
could Go for like a
You can move anywhere you want.
Okay. So I think it's
Yeah. You can get a picture anywhere you want. Yeah, fix your hair, fix your hair.
like super focused.
I took the whole 45 minutes to try.
Very studious.
I was like, so
Oh, that's great.
what happened? I'm
It looks so like focused.
Are they getting bad? Do we need to sharpen them?
The timer was ready. Like, no.
No, thank you.
No.
Thank you, but nothing.
Okay, are you ready to go?
Yes.
Okay, so in number 7, I want you to highlight, circle, star, draw a smiley face by. He is a rectangle. He is a rectangle. So I got to know everything I can about a rectangle.
What's that?
Okay, so this is what I want you to do. I want you to go to your picture and put in every characteristic marking that you can on a rectangle. It doesn't matter.
Okay.
Anything you want. Purple, pink. Going Christmassy, red and green. Absolutely. Put in any markings that you want. Yeah, you know what? I skip that one all the time. I feel really kind of bad for me on that one. Because everybody has it, so I just know it. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah. Hopefully did the 4 right corners. Everybody, yes?
Oh, yeah, me too. Yeah.
Oh, that's fabulous. Anybody else have anything to throw at me?
The inside ones.
All 4 pieces? Oh, I'm doing red and green too. Jeez, what do you want?
The like isosceles triangles.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. So tell me what you want me to do.
So like, I don't know, like it's just like the bottom angles of.
So actually, I'm gonna do like, yeah. Wow. This is the most important one. This angle is congruent to that angle because that is an isosceles triangle, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Now, this angle and this angle are congruent, and ironically match these two. So everything in blue is going to have the same angle measure because they have 1 arcs. Then, gets more fun. These 2 match. These 2 match. So those 4 will match in degree.
Are the sides congruent?
Yes, opposite sides are congruent. So I think because I used 1, so I'm up to 2. And then I'd have to unfortunately go 3. And I think you got a great place to start. I think it's a great place to start. Okay, they give us some information, and then we go plug it in and then answer their questions. Sound like a plan?
Yeah.
Okay, look at right here. They tell us AE is 3. They tell me AE is 3. So I go over to AE. It's part of my diagonal, and so I'm going to put in a 3. I go over to AE and put in 3. Would anybody know how long AC the whole kabang would be? Because what's this part down here? And then what's this part? Because they're all congruent, right? And what's this part? 3. So the whole thing, excellent job, AC is 6. That's really good. Okay, next question is just B to E. And 3. The next question is just B to D.
6.
Excellent. And the last little part is just D to E. 3. The diagonals are huge. How are you with the diagonals?
Good.
Do the pieces make sense that all 4 pieces are the same? All right. Okay, there are 3 angles that are congruent to ABE. Now we have to go find ABE. So when we find an angle, I put my finger on A, then I go to B, then I go to. So A to B to E would be this one that I put a little asterisk by, little star by. A to B to E is this one. Now follow the single arcs. Who else is it congruent to? Christina, anyone you want. E, A, B is excellent choice. Okay, I know. Stay back. We're gonna go back. You want to go back? Okay, hold on. You ready? Can you find angle ABE?
Yes.
Okay. Do you agree with me when I have a rectangle and I put the diagonals in, these 4 pieces are congruent?
Yeah.
Okay. This is one isosceles triangle. This is the second one, this is the third, and this is the fourth. Okay. If I pull out triangle 1, it would look like that.
Yeah.
And from semester 1, the theorem said, oh, then the base angles are congruent. So these 2 are congruent. So if I look at this triangle, this angle is congruent to this angle from semester 1's isosceles triangle theorem. Good start?
Yeah.
Okay, now add in the fact that if this is 30, this is also 30. Agree? Add in the fact that each corner in a rectangle adds 2. Okay, so if this is 30, how much more do I need? Wow, that was really fast. But this triangle 2 is also isosceles, He's just funny because he's pointing to the left. And do you agree with me that these two base angles are congruent from semester 1?
Yeah, so the other one's 60.
Okay, but then this one also adds up to 90, so what does this have to be?
30.
You got it. And if this is a triangle that's isosceles, this has to match, so that has to be an additional 30.
Gotcha.
Ah, but there's another 90 degree in the corner.
Oh.
So what does this have to be?
60.
And then this is an isosceles triangle. The 60 has to match, and we get 60 all the way around.
Yeah, I got it.
So now look, these 4
Yes.
will always match,
Yeah.
and then these 4 angles will always match. So that's what I think that they're asking. ABE is this one. Give me the other 3 by name, and if you don't really like the name, you could put numbers in there and I wouldn't take off at all. So give me another name if you can. E what?
CD.
Yeah, excellent. Keep going. One more? She gave me this one. You just gave me this one. So I need one more. EDC. Excellent job. Ooh, now I picked yours. Does that help you?
Yeah.
Okay, and unfortunately we just answered all of these, didn't we? If BAE is 30 degrees, I just put the 30 in right there, didn't I? Give me everybody else, ABE. Who else is that? BAE.
Oh, that is 30. My bad.
Yeah, so that is 30. You got it. Then AEB. I like this question a lot because if this is 30, look at my little drawing over here. If this is 30 and this is 30, can you get that angle right there in a triangle that's pointing down? How many degrees in a triangle? So you got 30 and 30, you got how many? 60. How much is that triangle angle going to be left over? 120. Okay, BEC is right there. If this is 30, this is 30. This is 120 for 180 degrees in a triangle. These two make a linear pair, so what's that one? 60. Woohoo! 60. EBC is up here. What is that angle up there? Yep, BCE.
30.
Ooh, what are you on?
Where are we?
CDE.
Oh, yeah, well, I don't.
If this one's 30, then this one's 30. What are these two bottom ones? You got it. 30. E, D, A, 60. Nice. And I think we answered it, didn't we? Okay, give me the 4 triangles that are isosceles. And when you name a triangle, you pick any 3 letters in any order. Does that make sense? So give me one of them. But you have to go like this. You have to go triangle. DEC. Triangle. Say it again. BEC. Triangle. Ooh, what did you just say? Yeah. One more, guys. I think we're missing AEB. Yep. Excellent. Do you see the 4 triangles going around?
Yeah.
Okay. The last question, are the diagonals of the rectangle congruent?
Yes.
Yes. Always. It's a characteristic. Are we good? diagonals of the rectangle perpendicular to each other? No. Excellent. Okay, we're gonna do 13 and 14, so go ahead, put in all your markings. What's the shape for 13 and 14? You got it. Star it, highlight it, circle it. Then tell me what to mark up here. How was the rectangle?
Not bad.
Woohoo! I think they're hardest to me. Okay, tell me what you have for any markings whatsoever for the rhombus. Cece, yell it out. What you got? Ooh, that's an excellent one. Love that one. What else you got? Diagonals?
Yes.
Near, 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 near. Excellent.
All the like bisecting are like.
This is hard.
The opposite ones here are congruent.
Okay, so these four match,
Yes, and then the other ones will.
and then these four match. Excellent job.
And then like the segments here are congruent and the segments are.
Excellent. Since I already used the one, I'm gonna go 2 for this guy, and then I think I'm up to 3 for this guy. Because the diagonals of the rhombus don't have any property about length. So you go up to grandma who says the diagonals are bisected. Okay, so now I gotta go in my picture and find angle KOS. So I go to K, then I go to O, and then I go up to S. And that is right here. And so put a nice small 25 degrees. Does that make sense where KOS is found? If KOS is 25. Now they're asking for KOM. KOM is the whole angle. KOM is the whole angle. So if this is 25, what is on the other side of that 25? 25 as well, because the diagonal comes and bisects that angle. So that's fabulous. So the answer for KOM would be 50. Okay, so now a rhombus is a little different than a rectangle. In the rectangle, we had 4 isosceles triangles, sorry. But we can find an isosceles triangle. It says KOS, so look at KOS looks like the left-hand side. Is it isosceles? Sure, because 2 sides are congruent. And 2 base angles are congruent, which we know. Can you find me 3 other isosceles triangles? KSM. Excellent. Another one? KOM. And then one more with this guy. SMO. Excellent job. Okay, so what you're going to do for homework is the square, 19 and 20 only. 19 and 20 on the back. Only. Then we're gonna come back and finish this tomorrow. Does that make sense? Then I got another one to practice. So on the back, what numbers?
19.
Okay, what shape is it? A square. Awesome. Quiz on. You got it.